Welcome to Tower Talk Business Radio on the voice of Nassau Community College 90.3 WHPC. Tower Talk Business Radio brings you conversations with the top business minds on Long Island and around the nation, including expert consultants and small business owners who have found success, but are also willing to share their top tips, failures, and give gritty, matter-of-fact advice based on their first-hand experience. And now, let's get down to business with Tower Talk Business Radio, powered by the Nassau Community College Foundation.
Hello and welcome to Tower Talk Business Radio, powered by the Nassau Community College Foundation. My name is Ray Schwetz, AVP of Nephew Business Banking, along with Donyshia Boston-Hill, CEO Keeper of the Brand Marketing and Digital Agency, and we're focused on being the premier resource for business and entrepreneurship.
Ray and I bring you weekly business advice, tips, tools, and services that help you grow your business. Plus, we interview the top business leaders in the industry.
Yes.
Now, Ray, it's all about tax season. Oh my God, I am just dreading that time.
Yeah, you know, I talked to all my friends who are getting refunds. And
they're getting some?
Yeah, plenty of my friends are. I'm not. I'm not. I don't know.
I don't know.
I take home less and less, and yet I still am paying. But, you know, hey, I guess we get cool things back on the taxes.
Allegedly, because I get that refund, and then I get, there was something wrong. You owe us.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't really like that too much.
No.
Yeah.
But you know what? I think that we're going to gain a lot of knowledge in things today, so I'm very excited about our guest. Our guest, helping empower us with business empowerment today, is our guest, Robert Brown. He is CPA CGMA. Now, Rob, you're going to have to tell me what that means in a moment. But before we do, I want to get into who you are and what you've done, because it's pretty amazing. You're the owner of your own practice in Jericho, New York. Rob has 35 years of experience in public practice and serving the business and individuals in areas of tax prep, tax planning, tax controversy, estate planning, multi-state taxation, tax representation, financial statement preparation, and management of advisory services. He serves as president of the foundation, the Education Foundation for the National Conference of CPA Practitioners, and is the immediate past president of the Nassau Suffolk chapter of that organization. He is also a member of the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants, the AICPA Private Companies Practice Section, the New York State Society of Certified Public Accountants, and the National Conference of CPA Practitioners. And I'm just exhausted saying that. Imagine you doing all that. Welcome to the show.
Well, thank you for having me. It's really great to be here. It's amazing how many things you can get if you're willing to pay some fees.
Well, there you go. So that's what it takes.
That's what it's all about.
So 35 years, but I wouldn't know it looking at you. So God bless you.
That's very kind of you. And actually, as of August 31st, it's actually 40 years.
Wow.
I don't like to tell anybody.
Wow. Okay.
Take the years.
He started when he was in diapers.
I think so.
Somebody asked me recently what I wanted to be when I grow up, and I said relevant.
I like that.
Yeah.
Well, we think you are. I mean, just listening to your experience itself leads us to say, what what made you want to take this path in life? You must love it.
This time of year, it's a love-hate relationship, and it's not so much with the clients as much as it is all they have done in Washington, and it has made it, I think, very difficult for everybody, and there's a lot of enormous amount of confusion. In my case, if I have to go back to the Stone Ages, I actually took a bookkeeping class once at high school and realized that it was my calling. You either have a knack for accounting or you don't. It either works nicely in your brain or it doesn't, and that's how I ended up doing this. It was a little fit of insanity. I don't know how to do anything else, so I do this.
I think I've always psyched myself out, even in college, going,
I'm
going to fail this accounting class. You hear the word accounting and you start getting, tremors.
Heebie-jeebies, but that's what motivated you.
Yeah, and I'm in a business where you meet people that do just about anything and everything for a living, and you get a fabulous education on how much you don't know about what other people do. People have different skills, and they they do their thing, and you ask them a question, and without even hesitation, they're able to give you an answer because it's automatic.
Yeah.
They're in tune to the same way both of you are in tune to what you do. And what's happened in my profession is that you're only as good as the resources you have. And if you're on Long Island, there is such a large community of CPAs and attorneys, and people are only too willing to help you.
Yep. It's pretty awesome. Now, on that point, you deal with businesses and you deal with individuals. So what is it that you feel like businesses need the most help with nowadays?
It's for me personally, it's sort of an evolutionary process because a lot of the business owners I have, they're seasoned, they've been doing it a long time, and it's sometimes just a question of what do you want to be when you grow up? Mm-hmm. What direction do you want to take? What type of culture do you want in your organization? Not to necessarily build the biggest and best for everyone else,
right? But
to build the biggest and best organization that you want to build.
Right. And I think a lot of people, and I think individuals are included in this, it's kind of the same question, because it's like sometimes you're so wrapped up in doing what you do, you don't think of those things.
I've spent so many years being an outside guy, and it's great because you can stand out there and you can be very, very critical because you're the outside guy. But
right.
It's an important role.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you have to have a vision for that. Now, what do you try to help your clients focus on to kind of get there?
Well, it's really bringing in. I like to work in a circle. Mm-hmm. So, and what I mean by that is I like to have their whole circle of advisors, and if they don't have a circle, we build a circle so that we are all in. We all communicate with one another, so that if there's an issue, sometimes I may go to a client's advisor before I go to the client and say, "Listen, we need to make something happen here." It's just so that when you're giving some advice, it's getting to where it needs to get to, because clients sometimes don't move themselves too quickly.
Right. Yep. Speaking as an individual, I could tell you that my accountant knows. I always say, hi, on an email, I start it with, hi, it's your worst client ever. I'm sorry. I have some paperwork for you.
And his response, of course, is, don't flatter yourself. I've got much worse than you. I've got much worse than you.
I still love you. I got a lot worse. You are listening to Tower Talk Business Radio on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC. I'm Ray Schwetz, along with Donyshia Boston-Hill, and our guest today is the esteemed Robert Brown, CPA CGMA. All right, now, so I have to ask you, what's the CGMA stand for? I'm ignorant in that.
It's a designation from the what's now called the Association of Independent Certified Public Accountants. It stands for Chartered Global Management Accountant.
Oh, wow.
Oh, I thought it was like, community God making magic happen or something like that.
Oh, I like that.
You know what? Everybody has initials after their names. It's everybody has initials. The question is do you actually do anything with them? And CPA is still CPA. I still hold near and dear, because that took a lot of work, and unfortunately it takes a lot more work as time goes on.
Now, there's something that kind of helps you with that, and you alluded at that earlier. And I think it's pretty amazing what CPAs do. Here on Long Island, I'm sure it's replicated elsewhere. But tell us a little bit about the organization that you're very much involved with.
Well, the National Conference of CPA Practitioners is an organization that is about to celebrate its 40th anniversary.
Wow. Same as you.
Yeah. And so it's an organization that was formed almost 40 years ago.
Wow.
Amongst small accounting firms. It's a national organization. And what we are is we're accountants the organization likes to say accountants, CPAs helping CPAs, but it's really more CPAs helping one another. And you can't be an expert in all areas. And the nice part about the organization is it's a group of fantastically dedicated and tenacious people. So we go down to Washington every May. We've had several members testify before the Senate Finance Committee. Last year when we were in Washington, we were at the House, we were at the Senate, the IRS, the Joint Committee on Taxation, and the White House. So what my background in it is I was a member for many, many years, and I was very, very good at that, at paying dues and not doing anything. And I live in Plainview, which, if you don't know, Plainview is the CPA capital of the world.
Yes, yes.
It's the CPA capital of the world. So I had a couple of friends that bugged me for, why don't you should volunteer. Well, at that time I had a few challenges in life. When my children were my kids were 8 and 4.5, their mother died suddenly.
Wow.
And I didn't have any family around, so I was a single parent for a long time, and there were a lot of people that helped me.
Mm-hmm.
And it was very, very difficult, and fortunately I met somebody really spectacular. I ended up getting married again 8 years later.
Wow.
But for me, my kids were a little older, they needed less, and it was an opportunity to dive in, because when you have the opportunity to help, you do it in a small way, but for somebody else, it's a big thing.
Right.
And the bigger your network is, the bigger the network you develop,
mm-hmm.
the more you're able to hand off the ball. And Ray, that's how you and I know each other. And it's just nice to have the relationships. I have colleagues come to me. They're not sleeping over something they're doing or something going on with a client. They're not sleeping. If you're not sleeping, you shouldn't be doing it.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes none of it's worth your health. Sometimes you got to tap out. You have to go outside. You got friends. You have people that will help you, because we all know how difficult it is. As much as we are competitors, we are colleagues. We just so happened 2 nights ago, we put on an evening seminar. We had about 170 people.
Mm-hmm.
And it was hard to hear the speakers over the groaning in the room.
Now, this is the same event we saw. We went to an event at the Crest Hollow.
Yes. Yes.
Same organization. So,
yeah. Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
That's our big event, and it is that event is a little bit of magic.
I think it's a lot of fun too.
It's one of my favorites of the year, for sure.
Somehow, the people that work on it, and for whatever reason, I'm president of the Education Foundation, which puts on the event. I go to a lot of the meetings. I go to all the meetings, actually. Here and there, I'll bring in a speaker or a sponsor or two, but other than that, I don't do very much. So when people come to me and say, how do you guys do this? I said, I don't know myself. The people are just amazing.
Well, we have to give a shout out to some people like Kathy Casey and a few others at the office.
Kathy's one of my sister wives. Kathy is awesome, and Bob Goldfarb, our chair, and Ross Cass. But it's everybody, and it's every person on that committee that puts in so much time. But on the other end, we have amazing sponsors. And the people that are there, the event literally has a life of its own. There is so much interaction, networking, and everything's wonderful.
Yes, yes.
You are listening to Tower Talk Business Radio. Our guest today is Robert Brown, CPA CGMA. My name is Donyshia Boston-Hill, along with Ray Schwetz, on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC.
90.3 WHPC reminds you that understanding your finances is a key to a strong financial future. And good financial decisions don't have to be big or overwhelming. Little things, like putting money into a savings account every paycheck or paying down your credit card each month, can go a long way to getting you on the right financial track. So, don't be the one who makes bad financial decisions and gets left behind. Visit feedthepig.org to get started on the path to financial stability. This message brought to you by the American Institute of CPAs, the Ad Council, and the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC.
And welcome back to Tower Talk Business Radio, powered by the Nassau Community College Foundation on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC. I'm your host, Donyshia Boston-Hill, along with Ray Schwetz, and our guest today is Robert Brown, CPA CGMA. Now, Robert, we're so excited to have you here. We were speaking about the Crest Hollow event, thousands and thousands of people. I had the pleasure of speaking at one of the workshops along with Karen Tannenbaum this past year. And, they always say...
Two rock stars.
I saw Karen last night.
I know. I saw the photos on Facebook.
And the night before.
She's all over the place. So
yes.
She, and I'm sure you as well, are a testament that, it's not strictly about the numbers. It's about your net worth. Your network equaling your net worth. So we're excited for you to be here today.
Just hang out with smart people. That's what I do.
Hey, and surround yourself with smarter people, especially when it comes to the numbers.
Yes. Now, we have a lot of people out there that we're meeting. I mean, there's a lot of uncertainty right now. I'm going to use the word fear.
Absolutely.
With some of the changes that are going on. So what are some of the things that you're seeing, and how can you help people with some of that?
Well, the unfortunate part of it, and I've had a lot of contact with a lot of my colleagues, is that somehow the IRS, in their infinite wisdom, when they came out with last year's withholding tables, well, to make a long story short, everybody's withholding was short. I actually, a few months ago, pulled down my wife's pay stub, and her federal withholding was about 5% lower than it should have been. And we were actually contacted by the IRS, and they said, please reach out to your members and tell them to reach out to the clients and use the IRS, the withholding calculator on the website. Now, not every one of my clients went to MIT, so they weren't all able to use it. But what we're seeing is, and colleagues have said to me, what are you telling your clients? What are you telling your clients? Well, give them the 2-year comparison that the software prints out, and let them look at the 2-year comparison before they start complaining. Because in most cases, what we're seeing, most of them, the tax liability is lower, but the withholding was lower than the difference. And most of them are not being impacted that badly. You do have a lot of people that if you have a lot of unreimbursed business expenses, you get hurt very, very badly. A lot of the people on Long Island that were losing the SALT deduction, the state and local tax deduction, right? The alternative minimum tax was wiping that out for them anyway. So my advice to them is, before you should plan, but before you plan, sit down and look at it, look at the results, look at the prior year, and then decide, because there are always planning opportunities, and you want to use those as much as you can.
Now, tell us, how do you do so much? You're working with the organization, you're working with your peers, you're socializing, you're networking, you have a family life. How do you keep motivated to do all this?
You know what? When you see the impact that it has on people, and it's funny, we do these morning these breakfast programs, usually the end of the month. We call them MAP, Management of an Accounting Practice, and what they are is they're on soft skills. And months like the end of February, we generally don't get a big turnout.
Oh, sure, yeah, you guys got some things going on.
But we should, because when I see the people that are there, they're just happy to be there, happy to be with all their friends, just breaking away for a little bit and bringing a little bit of sanity, because the 2 to 3 hours that it takes out of your season is not going to change your life. But we actually did one 2 years ago, and we had somebody in their basically self-hypnosis training and relaxation breathing techniques, and it really was fabulous.
Wow.
So sometimes you have to take a step back, and this year is especially tough for us, so everybody should be very, very nice to their accountants and very patient because we're all behind the 8 ball, because we had significant regulations that only came out in the last 4 to 6 weeks. So it's ugly.
Yeah, it changes your job completely.
I'm always interested to ask, I mean, are you filing your taxes as a small business owner, as an accountant yourself, like right at the top of the year? Are you waiting to April 14th?
Extension for all
accountants.
I do mine in October.
Ah.
Well, you know what? People have this stigma against filing an extension. They think that if you file an extension, your return is more likely to be audited. They audit a very, very low percentage of income tax returns. And if they're going to audit your return, it's not going to be because you filed an extension. Most accountants will tell you that a lot of the extensions that they file is because people, they may be business owners, they may have a retirement plan, and they need additional time to make their contribution. So you take those extra months, maybe you put away a little bit every month. Ray, you're a banker, so you understand this.
Yeah. That's what I said.
And there are sometimes good reasons, and it's better to get it right. My main focus, and I think a lot of my friends do this too, is I'm less concerned about getting the tax return out as much as I am getting the tax paid. So we generally start extensions early so that we have enough time to project what we think somebody's liability is going to be.
Right. Always best to know this is the amount you got to budget for, and this is the drop dead when you got to do it, you know?
Yeah.
So after tax season is over, like, what are you doing at downtime?
Well, the one downside is usually in May I go down to Washington with Nick Papp, the National Conference for CPA Practitioners. Unfortunately, I don't really get time to get vacation because my lovely wife works in the New York City school system, so she's not done until the end of June. So we wait for a little bit. Mm-hmm. We wait a week or two for her to unwind in July, and then we head out east because we love Long Island.
Yeah, it's a beautiful thing. You are listening to Tower Talk Business Radio on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC. My name is Ray Schwetz, along with Donyshia Boston-Hill, and our guest today is Robert Brown, CPA CGMA. Well, so Robert, you've accomplished a lot. What is the accomplishment that either you're most proud of, or what are the accomplishments that are up there, tied for it?
Am I allowed to say my children? That's my greatest accomplishment. And actually, tomorrow I'm officially outside of the dogs. Of course, I'm officially an empty nester because my younger one is moving to Manhattan tomorrow. Wow. So that was a challenging job, but we ended up with two really fabulous people. So that's wonderful, and just the volunteering has brought me. It's brought me friends. It's brought me insight. It's brought me business too. It's just been phenomenal. And all these people that you and I both know, Ray, every one of them, I can call them up at any time. And it's always, hi Rob, hi Robert, what can I do for you? And I never have trouble sleeping at night over something that I did or didn't have to do.
Yeah, you always know who to go to.
It's a beautiful thing. It really is a beautiful thing.
Yeah, and I also think it makes this very useful for our clients, because I know myself as a banker, I've learned so much more about what other people do than what I do on the banking side. Oh, yeah. But that makes you, a richer resource for sure.
Absolutely, because if I send a client your direction, what you're going to do is you're going to say, hey, this is what I can do, this I can't do. It's not, you get a couple of weeks into the process, and Lord knows, certainly in the banking arena, we've all experienced that.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Now, tell us a little bit about what's coming up for NCPAP. I would say just kind of give us an idea. What are the things that happen in June? What are the things that happen in September? What are the things that happen in November? So that we can kind of get a scope of it. Because I really think that that's something you hit on that's very important. Having that peer resource, which is, not something every profession has, is just incredible. So what are some of the things that are going on in NCPAP that our accountant friends can listen and hear about?
Well, the sad part about being the president of the Education Foundation in this environment is that we've had to put on a lot of extra programs. And after the response we got the other night, we will probably be doing probably sometime in June, we'll probably be doing another probably 2 4-hour sessions on the new tax law, mostly the Section 199A deduction, which is a deduction for pass-through entities that was supposed to be simple, that is anything but. We, of course, will be going down to Washington in May. We're sort of seeing how things go, because we used to plan out our programs 6 months to a year in advance. And what we've been doing the last couple of years is we have to kind of write the schedules in pencil, because so much is changing, and we need it to be relevant. And knowing what to put on is easy, because you really get the vibe from everybody. And it's being able to get the content. And I haven't done this yet, but I really have to give a shout out to all the people that speak for us, because it's sitting in my chair. It's very, very easy to come up with ideas for programs, and then you walk in, and maybe it's an hour and 50-minute program, or maybe it's a half-day program, and that person that is giving the hour and 50-minute lecture spent 15 hours putting together the materials. So we have been extremely lucky, fortunate as far as that's one of the reasons that having the big network, we have tons of great speakers and who have put in a ridiculous amount of time, who you also know a lot of them, Ray, and it's just they and the people that come are what makes it all happen.
Yeah, and kudos to you for keeping things flexible like that, because that makes a huge difference. As you said, it makes things relevant, makes things recent. It's what people need to know.
Now, if there's someone out there that's a solo practitioner and they wanted to find out how to get involved, then how do they contact you?
Well, they can always call me in my office, 516-364-4949, or they can email me at rbrown@rnbcpa.com, or they can go on the NCPAP website. It's go.nccpap.org.
Excellent. We want to thank you for being with us. My name is Ray Schwetz, along with Donyshia Boston-Hill, your co-host and producers. We're very happy to have had Robert Brown with us. Thank you so much for being on the show today.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thanks for coming out.
Your creative director of Tower Talk Business Radio is Rudy Breedy. This is an NCC Foundation Business Leaders Council production. Visit ncc.edu/WHPC for more information. Available on iHeartRadio as a podcast on iTunes, Android Podcasts, and Spreaker. This has been Tower Talk Business Radio, powered by the Nassau Community College Foundation on the voice of Nassau Community College 90.3 WHPC.